Kneecap are doing, that there's so much of what they're doing that even though it's also heavily influenced by hip hop, it's very punk in its core in a lot of ways. The bands that you're seeing now, who you would have influenced.
I like to not really think about it that much. And I don't think about really punk rock as a music source. I think of it as an energy of disruption, and it floats through so many genres right now. I think we've given to so many genres of art, even in performance, that it goes beyond just like Emil and the Sniffers are an incredible band doing incredible things, but so many artists are out there doing great stuff.
I just produced this band called the Dollheads from Vegas.
They're playing today, right?
Yeah. And I went to a studio on the east side. It was, they're 14, 15, 17, and amazing band. And they're playing in their garage and they're just rocking out. And it's, oh, right, this is punk rock. This is how we all started. So it was just wonderful to see them and how excited they are to play. Joan Jett was their favorite, band, L7, and they're just rocking out. I just had a good time. When I produced Fishbone, it's like, man, these guys are old. And Dollheads, it's cool. It was really fun for me.
You have Joan Jett. Once you get past that first room, Joan Jett is right there with the Ramones in that very first walkway.
Yep. She's the coolest person in rock and roll.
In rock and roll.
Yeah, in the whole business.
And 1974 is when both those bands were formed, roughly, right?
Runaways and Ramones both put out records the same year.
And so she's really important to this.
Yeah, but the Ramones record was better.
Yeah. Joan Jett, important to you?
Important, as is Patti Smith, who's also represented in that first room.
Yeah.
And the artists that helped create these looks, like Arturo Vega and other people are in that room also.
Yeah.
Vivian.
I know that's not what you were asking.
No, I'm asking, I don't want an answer that I want your answer. Yeah.
But Joan Jett, the Runaways were the most important.
Yeah.
Because first all-girl rock band, and they did it themselves.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, King Valley is a
I
fucking
think that they
shithead.
did what they had to do. They did what they needed to do at the time.
Yeah.
And it made sense for them.
No, what I meant to say is when she put out I Love Rock and Roll, all 23 major labels turned her down, and she had a 10 million single sale. She sold 10 million records on Black Heart Records.
Yeah.
She did that on her own.
Yeah. And
that's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that Ramones logo is Arturo, right? And I think that's the key to this too, is that the community that it built and the fans, so many of you here who form a big part of your life, even if you don't make music in some way, it would impact you. You got a lot of shit on the Warped Tour when you brought bands
I got a lot of shit doing everything.
Well, there was just a lot of talk about, we're singing playfully and not so playfully on here, about what punk is and how you do it and what is a sellout, what is not. You talked a little bit about that.
I just say, for me, it's not a look, it's not a passion, it's what's in your heart, and you never know where that's going to come from and who has it. I mean, I take the shit right here from a lot of people, but I thought Katy Perry was pretty punk coming on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
She got up there and then challenged her every day, put her in front of bands. It wasn't easy. I didn't make it easy. I put her in that time frame. You put her on right after Bring Me the Horizon with these bands, and then she actually came and played that 15th anniversary show that you said not very nice things about her. But she showed up. She showed up and played with Pennywise.
It was a joke, and it wasn't.
Pennywise. She played with Pennywise, No Effects, and Bad Religion, and Ice-T, and there's Katy Perry showing up to do something for music.
Because she's showing up because you guys had the cool thing, and she's knows what cool looks like, and she showed up for that.
But she was there early,
Okay.
but she was there before, right?
Well, she put in the hard work. Before Kiss the Girl came out, I was actually doing a movie called Endless Bummer. It was a soundtrack, and Joan Jett was in the movie, Keith Morris was in the movie, Lee Bing was in the movie. It was about a stolen surfboard, and I needed a song. So I actually was in New York bouncing around, talking about Warped, seeing what was going on. And I asked a guy named Jason Flom, do you have anything from like the 1982, 83 time frame? I'm looking for songs. And he goes, well, I got this girl, Katy Perry, she did a Outfield, Use Your Love was the song.
Oh, she's getting too much better.
Cover, and and he goes, I'll sell you a song for $500 for the movie. And I said, sure. And I asked her what else she did, and he goes, well, she's been dropped a few times. She has the song "You're So Gay," the video, and I go, you know what? I think she'd kind of cool on Warped Tour. And he was like, what? I go, I just kind of got a feeling, I always like to shake it up. Because if you just put the same thing on Warped Tour, you had to make it as eclectic as possible.
Like Jeffree Star.
What?
Jeffree Star.
Well, Jeffree Star was probably...
Who are the uncool bands on the Warped Tour? Who are the bands that...
I think the band, you know, and I don't know
People
girls, that
sang
the only
for
one
bands.
was, the only uncool band was Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Well,
Let me tell you what Kevin did.
because Alien Ant Farm had that hit song, Smooth Operator, or not
Smooth
Smooth, that's Sade.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson
Yeah.
song. And
Sade on the work.
Sade would be punk rock, but
I can tell the story in
he
30
walked up
seconds.
to my bus and he said, man, our song's like #1, you know, dude, you gotta let us like move up to the main stage. And I
Sri
said,
Lankan comedian
Right.
this morning, and he informed me that there were less white people in the world than people of color. So I am now identifying as a person without color, the minority. So,
That we don't endorse.
Right.
We don't
Now-
endorse that point of view.
Now-
We don't endorse that. I don't endorse it.
yeah, but listen,
The true color
this is
comes
how
out.
punk rock's really changed, because something like that used to be funny.
Well, I'm just. We can have an experience where there's multiple stories being told.
Right.
We don't have to have a single narrative. That's my point.
Come on.
But that's what's the beauty
Can we have
of the
some fun?
tours.
Yes.
Every person in a band who does a tour, they're all different stories.
Yeah, you know, the tour that we were on today, you were telling these amazing stories behind the scenes of how this became an industry that reached people who didn't grow up in one
well,
of these two
for
communities.
me it was, I took my tour and I repeat myself. I'd be in those clubs at night. It was a very violent scene, but I would listen to those bands and the words they were saying, and how important those words were. And my mission was like, one, I want to figure out how to get this to those people in Montana, those people in Texas, those people that weren't having shows. But on the other end, how to reduce the potential of violence at these shows, because there was so much around those shows. And my plan was to take it out into the sunshine, you know, and because 90% of the problems were caused by the cover of darkness at these clubs. If I could bring that music out to more people, they would, you know, and not worried about getting their asses kicked right
What
out.
lyrics are you talking about? Suicidal Tendencies? G.G. Allen?
Really Bad Religion,
Yeah.
you know, Kennedy's.
Kennedy's.
When Fishbone kind of stepped into the
The
scene,
DK
which was the
was
first really African that I remember being on stage with them, and the shit they took from that scene, but they were saying
Party
stuff
or Ground Zero, you wanted those lyrics too.
well,
But as you know,
pretty relevant actually in some ways.
a big part of punk
This is
was
taking
connected to
that
politics.
I produced their last album.
Every generation of music speaks
I
to a
was just
certain
kidding.
age
G.G. Allen, you
in
wanted
their
those
own
lyrics
way.
or suicidal?
You know,
Yeah.
there's bands all through my life. Those other bands later on, whether they're My Chemical Romance, or those
Chili
bands,
Peppers, yeah.
they spoke the same way. And if I could bring that out to people and still give you guys a platform once in a while to come
Yeah.
on and be part of, that was important to me.
Yeah.
When did you shift to realize that you weren't just going to be a player in a band, but you were going to have a band, but you're going to be part of the building of this genre and having labels and giving other people
It wasn't
platforms?
planned, just
But when did it start to happen in your mind?
well,
Like,
something. I saw bands on tour like Propaganda,
Yeah.
and I went, these are good bands. Shit, I could do this too. It was it was no risk. It was just seemed obvious. There was Lookout and Epitaph and a couple labels, and I should do one too.
Propaganda had a big impact on your label, didn't it?
Well, yeah, they started the fucking sound.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. If you notice,
It's
how to
true.
clean everything.
Mhm.
With the napkin, you know, all this, that. What record came after that was Punkadelic. It's like I clearly was so influenced by them. Before that, it was White Trash. They invented the fat sound
Fat Record Time.
and the bad attitude.
But I think that
No.
they also, no, but really they were
They changed so many people's lives because of their lyrics.
And lyrics, exactly.
They were the most important band on Fat lyrically.
Yeah, and I think that's was to what you're getting at, right?
Well, you know, when you were working so many nights, you would just start to see, to me, that was making more sense than, like you say, Leatherwolf, Warrant, Poison, that I was working on those
They all-
other nights of things. I felt this music was pretty relevant.
We're hearing a lot about the dynamic within the scenes at the time, specifically in LA, but of course it was happening in a lot of different places. Ever, could you ever fathom that your photographs are going to reach so many people around the world and be a window into something happening here that they would never otherwise have a connection to?
No, it's rather unbelievable, and it has to do with the advent of the internet and stuff. I never been on a computer, and my attorney was doing some old t-shirt things and stuff, and they set up a Facebook page, and my wife Karen over there got me a iPhone, and I go on Facebook, and I swear every time I logged on, I'd see my photos with no credit. They'd gone around the world, and I had no idea. It kind of blew my mind. It was like I'd see them all the time, never credited. No, that's kind of a drag.
Yeah. But influence so many people.
Hmm?
So many people.
Yeah, they know the photos, they don't have an idea that I shot them.
No. So we don't want to focus so much just on the past. I think the present and the future of punk rock is really important too, because
Photos from the future. Let's talk about
photos from the future. What have you got that hasn't happened yet? Right now. That's what I'm looking for. Talk about just, punk as a vibrant scene today, and how it's gone through. This genre is 45, 50 years old, depending on when you pick your start date for it. But it's been around long enough now that it has completely evolved. What is the present of this genre now? The genres.
I'll go real quick. It's that it's everything in the past, and it's cherry-picked the influence, right? If you talk to Gerard from My Chemical Romance, some people will be like, that's not punk rock, but if you actually, talk to him, and it's the influences go down the line, right? It's, obvious, the Misfits influence, but there's a ton and a slew, and its bands now are cherry-picking what had come before and using it and blending it to do something else, whether it's Scowl, Linda Linda's, The Interrupters. I mean, those are all bands that are happening right now, but are using influences from the 4 decades past to continue the punk rock story.
Even Idols and emo, but you think about what Sleep